guys, this video is going to be all about the personal narrative essay, the instructions and expectations, as well as scoring and the timeline for writing it. So you are going to watch this video, and if you have any further questions, you can message me in Schoology or ask me in class. So I'm going to start by going into the green writing folder in Schoology. And the first thing I want to bring up is the writing process. This is the order that we will go through in writing all of our essays. We've already done the pre-writing. The pre-writing were all of the timed writings, and in subunit 2, when your solos were to write 3 to 5 sentences on different topics. And also in our notebooks on a couple of Mondays, we did some sketch and written narrative writing pieces. So any of those can be used and viewed to possibly expand into an essay. Starting tomorrow, Tuesday the 19th, we will be starting the drafting part of the process where you will be typing the entire class period on Tuesday and Wednesday, most of Thursday, and all of Friday as well. So you will have roughly 4 hours with me to type this essay, in addition to outside of class if you need it. Revising and editing. So these two steps will happen probably Thursday, Friday for you. Editing is great to involve an adult in your life. So whether it be a parent, grandparent, or even an older sibling, because they can catch these errors called CUPS: capitalization, usage, that's word usage, punctuation, and spelling. Spell check is great to do, and I always suggest that you do the spell check in Google Docs. However, Google Docs doesn't catch nearly everything, especially when it comes to word usage and spelling of proper nouns, etc. So you want to make sure that you have an adult help you with the editing phase. The revising, this is where a classmate, someone who is a student of mine, can be very helpful, because with revising, this is where you're actually going to be adding details, moving words around, substituting pieces. And typically with revising, the student needs to be in my class because they will know exactly what is expected on the essay. So for example, you need to have 2 pieces of figurative language in your essay. You need to have 4 lines of dialogue. You need to have precise details. And a parent, although they are great at helping you out with the basics of writing, if they are in the class, they may not know the expectation for some of the components of the essay that are part of the rubric so that you get the best score. So revising, you want to have a classmate look it over and look for the details, and then adult in your life for the editing part. And once you get finished with those, you are at the publishing stage. So this is where you're going to hit the share button, or the submit button, in Google Docs, in Schoology, and it will link your Google Doc and it'll send it off to me. And you need to have this whole essay turned into me before midnight on Monday, October 25th. We will not be typing in class on Monday, but I want to give you the weekend just in case you need it. And at that point, we're moving away from Unit 6A. That's the end of the unit at that point. All right, so I'm going to go back one step here. And I want to talk about, also in the folder, is going to be the actual assignment. Oops, I'm actually going to go back a step here. Personal narrative essay. So right here is going to be the instructions, and it is worth 25 points summative. So remember, your summative category is 70% of your overall grade. This is like a math test would be in your math class. Think of a specific and significant memory with either a friend or a family member. This should be one focused memory that had some sort of impact on you. Think about Dahl's narrative writing and Boy Tales of Childhood when you're brainstorming memories. You can also review our timed writings that are in Amplify. In your hamburger menu, you'll see the icon for My Work, and all your writing will come up there. And you can use the writings that we did in your LA6 notebook. Remember, you are practicing focusing on one moment. So you don't want to talk about your favorite vacation that you took to Disneyland, because that's not one focused moment. And it's honestly, talking about a favorite vacation is not secondary level writing. However, if you talked about the time where you got lost at the hotel and you couldn't find your parents on this specific vacation, and you really focused in on that time when you got lost, that would be a personal narrative. Okay, so all of these arrows here are to get you brainstorming a possible topic. We have written about all of these already. Every single arrow here are probably in your Amplify, My Work, or in your notebook. Recall a moment when you were doing something important with friends or family. You had played a game outside recently with friends or family. One friend or family member made you laugh recently. You spent some quality time with friends or family recently during an evening or weekend. You got together with a friend or a classmate to do a project or complete an activity. A friend or family member helped you out recently, or you helped them out. A time when you felt really strong emotions. We really looked at Dahl's emotions in Boy, and fear, happiness, sadness, excitement, anger, disgust. We also looked at importance of objects to us, like the tuck box in Boy, and maybe there's an object that is of particular importance to you and your friends or family. And of course, if there's something that we have not written about yet or we have not talked about, as long as it fits the focus of one moment spent with a friend or a family member present, it was some moment that had an impact on you, then of course that would fit the requirement. So I'm going to scroll down, and it says to type your essay in Google Docs using MLA formatting. And don't worry about the MLA formatting because I have it already set up for you. You just need to not change that formatting. And if you're looking for the best score possible, these bullets right here are everything that you need to include. So it says after you write your personal narrative essay, complete the personal narrative self-assessment checklist, which I will show you next, prior to submitting in Schoology. Your goal is to write at least 350 words for this essay. That's roughly 2 typed pages in Google Docs, double-spaced. You should include multiple indented paragraphs. Notice it doesn't give you a number because with narrative writing, there is no specific number of 5-paragraph essay or 7-paragraph essay, 3-paragraph essay. It's just whatever, every time you switch topics or someone new is talking in your essay, then it gets a new paragraph. You should have 4 examples of dialogue with speaker dialogue tags other than said. Remember, said is dead. Use those notes. It should be mom screamed or I cried. And you need 4 examples. They can be back to back if it's a conversation, or they can be spread out throughout the essay. You should use precise details, including vivid sensory details. Remember, I was not present in your memory, so you need to make it come to life so I can picture it in my head. And that includes sensory details like what did you see? What did you hear? What did you taste? What did you smell? What emotions did you have? You should include 2 examples of figurative language. We spent a whole week doing notes and activities with figurative language. You need to pick 2 different examples and include it in your essay. Finally, you need to have someone, or I highly recommend you have a parent, a friend, a classmate, a sibling, proofread your writing prior to submitting, in addition to running that basic spelling grammar check. Okay, take it back. And we're going to look at where to type the essay. So if you click on Essay Personal Narrative, here is, oops, sorry, let me go back. Here are the instructions that we just went through as a reminder. And then when you click on My Documents, then after you let it load up, here's your document here. And you will change your name to your first and last name. You will change teacher's name to Mrs. Pope, class title, LA 6 or Language Arts 6, And finally, the date. And in MLA formatting, the day comes first, October, and then the year. And then you put the title of your essay here. Now, the essay title should not be essay, or it should not be personal narrative essay. This is a story. So after you tell your story, usually we don't come up with the title till the very end, and then you go back and you give your story, your narrative a title. Or maybe you already have a title for it because you know exactly what story you're going to talk about. So you're going to go ahead and type that here once you have a title for it. And then you go ahead and you just start typing your essay down below. Of course, when you're finished, you submit by clicking Submit Assignment there. Okay, going back out, and then it'll tell me when you turn it in on time, and then I can score it there as well. Next step is the personal narrative self-assessment. And as I mentioned in the instructions, this is your final step for before submitting. So it says complete the attached self-assessment prior to submitting your essay. And when you go to my document, always takes a minute to load up. And this self-assessment checklist is worth 15 points formative. So that's in our assignments category. And you want to go through and answer all these questions. It's to help you as a checklist figure out what you might be missing. So what is your word count? Remember, it should be 350 or more. And how many times did you indent? That's kind of a reminder that it shouldn't just be one. It should be multiple. Did you run a spelling and grammar check? Yes or no? Now, you'll notice that there are different notes here: focus, organization, elaboration of narrative, language and vocabulary, and conventions. All of these are tied to the grading rubric, which is how we grade essays in language arts. And narrative rubric has all of those components that were in parentheses, and they are linked to different categories in this rubric: narrative focus, organization, elaboration of narrative, language and vocabulary, and conventions. And it's on a score of 0 through 4. A 4 would be like, oh, you're an A, your essay was worthy of an A. A 3 would be more of like a B. A 2 would be a C. A high 2, like a 2 plus. 2 minus might be closer to a D. And then 1 is you did the very basics. You're in a D category. The only way you can get a 0 or an F would be the only way you could get a 0 is if you didn't turn it in, or these categories were so, they were just completely lacking. There was no organization at all. It was only a couple sentence essay, something like that would score you in the 0 category, where it didn't even make it on the rubric. Okay. I think that is everything with regards to the essay. You are going to be working on it in class all this week. And if you have any further questions, of course, you can send me a message or ask me in class this week. Have a good day, guys. Bye.